Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today in Destiny Rising, we're going to take a look at a tier list that I've put together. Now, I'm used to putting tier lists together for my other channel where I'm looking at hero collectors and things like that, which I feel tier lists fit very well in, but I was wondering, as far as tier lists go, how best can a tier list be used with this game, especially since most of it is really just skill-based. What might be an F tier character may be an A tier character for somebody else because they know how to use that type of playstyle. So I looked at it from that lens. I'm very curious what you think. So let me know in the comment section below, but let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So the tier list. Like I was saying, I was trying to figure out the best way to approach a tier list, and I think maybe the best way to do that, especially in Destiny, is by playstyle. So I have ranked each one of these characters based on their specific playstyle, and what that is, I go into overview, right? So this medium range combat for Gwen, it's close range. So we've got, and I'll put this graphic up. It's an Excel spreadsheet. If you know me from my previous channel, I do Excel spreadsheets. I'm not the best on graphics, so but I can do a mean Excel spreadsheet. So I've got close range, mid range, I have long range, and then I have support. Some of these characters are in multiple categories, like Tan 2, who is long range and support as well. So let's go ahead. Let's run through these, just kind of through my thought process as I get some experience. I have more experience with other characters than I do with some of the other ones. I will get them all up eventually, but I think I have a good handle on a lot of it. Let's talk about Estella. If you saw my Estella video a week or two ago, I think now it's probably been a couple weeks. I really like Estella. I like her combat style. I like the summons. I think really for her, the biggest drawback for me is her sustainability. I won't say she's a glass cannon, but she does take more damage more quickly than some other heroes, some other guardians. She just doesn't have any like self-healing or anything like that. So, but that aside, she is fantastic. I've used her in PvP, I've used her in PvE, running through legendary campaign and everything else. Great for boss battles. She's got some great mechanics here. If we take a look at this, I like the fact that this game, the developers try and give you as much information about the character as possible. I mean, like this, it talks about corrupt. This one is a summoning ability. Same with this one here. But with her specifically, I really like this misfortune. Targets are marked, making them prioritized by the summons. Summons attack deals an additional 35% of damage to targeted enemies. You can get your summons to do quite a bit of damage. And then when you back up into the talent tree here, her talent tree is a lot about summons, right? The second one here about healing her summons, you know, Bewitched Illusions, max duration, 42 seconds. Her summons doing a misfortune is increased to 50%. Her summons doing more damage. A lot of it is, a lot of her talent tree and a lot of her mechanics are around her summons. So I think that's really, when you take a look at the different types of styles as far as how you can artifact her, I feel that leaning into her summons is probably best. That's what I've done, and I found a lot of success there. For Estella, I'm putting her in S tier. I think she is, for her mid-range, if you love mid-range combat, if you like summonings, I swear, like back to my WoW days in some other games, the Warlocks and the summons, I've always loved that type of playstyle. So if you like summons, if you like that more mid-range battle, I think Estella is going to be absolutely fantastic for you. Just be careful of her sustainability in battle. Just she takes hits pretty good. Next is Gwen. My top two characters in this game, my favorites, is Gwen and Estella. Now, Gwen, the difference with her, if we just take a look at this, she's close range. She's close range combat, but she has some really cool stuff in her kit. She's got an overshield. She has the sustainability in battle that Estella does not. So you can take her into her. I love close range combat characters as well, but with her overshield and her recovery, the healing that she gets, the amount of damage that she does, absolutely fantastic. I think she's great in all game modes as well. When it comes to PvP, I almost prefer Estella over Gwen but I do like Gwen in PvP as well. Again, different combat styles. So as far as her combat style, close ranged, self-healing, self-sustaining, I think she's absolutely fantastic. You take a look at her talent tree here. You get up to what, this second one here, Soul's Assault, max number of charges increases to 2. That is huge for increased damage. I mean, when you talk about her signature abilities, I'm able to let them off like pretty consistently without too much of a wait for cooldowns and stuff. This really helps out a lot, getting that second copy of her. So you get your initial copy, and then obviously then you need 2 more in order to get to that. But I think she's absolutely fantastic for people who really like to get into the mix, be on the front lines. Obviously not a tank, but she does a lot of damage, and she takes care of herself. She heals herself pretty good there. For her, for close range combat, I have her at S tier. And I think she fits pretty well there. Tan is one where he fits in 2 categories. Long range as well as support. So let's talk about this a little bit because I have his tier rankings just a little bit different. When we go into his relic abilities, he's one of these characters that can swap between damage and healing, right? So you've got this one here, you've got Corrupt, you got Allied Damage bonus here, and then you've got this ability here, which just switches between your healing and your damage build. So you've only really got 2 abilities here. This third one, all it does is switch you back and forth, right? And so when we go to this, we've got some healing here, obviously, and this here, we've got some healing as well. When we take a look at what he can do on the battlefield, I feel from a PvE perspective, I think he works pretty well. PvP, not the biggest fan of him. When we take a look at long range, when you try and go through some of the not the Ascension, is it the Ascension? Why am I blanking on this? The Acclaim. As you're working through the Acclaim levels, you got to get through like Legendary Campaign on Champion without dying and within a certain period of time, things like that, in order to gain max rewards. I have more difficulty with him. Maybe that's just me, but I have more success with some of the other characters getting through kind of those tougher challenges. So for long range damage, I have him at A tier. Now I know he's great for piercing and the white dot and piercing, boom, getting that shield down so you can go ahead and do some damage to the enemy. Get that 100%. I still feel A tier for that. I feel for a healer, I feel that he is S tier. When you're going into raids and you're going in with the team, they really want a Tan 2 in there because they know that he's a great support. He offers some great healing. You can switch back and forth so you can add some additional damage as well. So I think as a support character, I feel he's an S. And again, I think he's a great character. Let's go to Wolf. Wolf is your starting character. I think he is a fantastic starting Guardian. When you take a look at gacha games in general, your starting heroes really aren't that great. And you really don't get to the really good ones until a little bit later on. We'll probably see some power creep and everything in this game like we do with some other ones. But I think Wolf, early to mid game, he is absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't call him S tier, but I do think he is a solid A tier hero. Maybe if I had an A+, maybe even in the A+. I mean, and Tan might even be an A+ if I had an A+, but I'm going to keep it pretty simple for right now. I love in his abilities here, his ability to go from enemy to enemy to enemy. And if you're paying attention to Wolf's strike, you are constantly doing damage. If you're going for taking an enemy out and then it refreshes and you can go back and forth and boom, there's a lot of mobility. You can see overshield mobility here in this character's kit. That is a lot of fun. And even now, even in endgame stuff, I have a lot of fun playing this character. Now, I enjoy playing with Estella and Gwen a lot more. I just love their kits and what they can do. But Wolf, for a starting character, I think he's pretty solid. I'm going to put him in the A tier. For, what is he? He is a mid-range. So I didn't take a look at that. If we go into here, he is a mid-ranged combat. So if that's your play style, when we take a look at mid-range, Estella is mid-range. So I think she's obviously better. You've got Wolf here at A. Let's talk about Ningfay. I really like this guy. I almost want to put him in S, to be honest with you. I really like this guy. Right now, I've got him in A. I'm trying not to... what is the word, right? I'm trying not to pump them up too much and say, hey, S tier, and then all of a sudden, Yeah, we get on a little later, and we really got to drop him to A pretty quick. He could be S tier. I've got him in A tier right now. He's close combat. I think he's absolutely fantastic for close combat. But if I've got Gwen in close combat and I compare it to Ningfay here, I really think Gwen outshines Ningfay. But Ningfay, I think, does absolutely fantastic as well. He is great in PvP. Man, maybe this is one I'm going to have to think on a little bit. But I really love his abilities here. He's got a lot of mobility. He does a lot of AoE. I like this kind of, I don't know, this shadow step, this clone that he has in there as well, I think is really cool. You know, I'm so close to wanting to put him into S right now. The more that I talk about this guy, dodges and creates a clone. Clones constantly launch chain lightning. So he's got the clones. He's got that misdirect, right? So they, plus, you know, it's a summon ability as well, but your enemies will go to the clone. The clone will do damage. You got some AoE damage as well. I think I'm talking my way into an S tier. Let me know what you think. I think out of my tier list, when it comes to close combat characters, he's probably the one I'm more on the fence with about moving him up. I'm very curious. What do you think of him? He is fantastic. Again, in PvP, he does pretty well. PvE, he does pretty well as well. I don't know if his damage is as high as Gwen's, though. But yeah, for close combat character, if you like that, he is really good. I mean, either one of these characters, if Gwen is already out of the summon pool and you can't get her, then the next best thing for close combat characters is going to be Ningfay. All right, let's talk about Jolder. Jolder, I've seen other people talk about her. She's been all over the tier lists, but let's talk about, she is defense. She's close range combat. I do have her in the A tier only because when you're going through and doing your all your different missions and you're going through the different game modes, a lot of it has to do with speed. Yes, I think you can still do pretty well and meet all of the challenges. I just don't have as much fun with Jolder as I do with Gwen when we talk about close combat. But if you're a defender, I think this plays into playstyle as well. Not just close range, but defense as well. Whereas Gwen, obviously close range. Gwen and Ningfay, both close range. But offense, if you like the defender, if you like the tank role, I think Jolder is absolutely fantastic. I do have her in A right now. Let's go ahead into here. I do like the fact that she has a taunt. I've seen some games where your tank does not have a taunt, and that just doesn't make sense to me. I think actually, I don't think Kabr has a taunt, does he? We'll take a look at Kabr. We got taunt, we got suppression here, so we've got some recovery, some knockback, which is great. We've got a nice barrier here, which is very cool, and we've got some AoE damage here with throwing her shield out there as well. I think she's absolutely awesome as well. If you like defense, if you like the close combat, if you like the tank role, I don't think you're going to go wrong with her. When it comes to tank, she's the highest ranking tank, in my opinion, when it comes to tier levels. But I do have her at A right now. Also, one thing I want to say before I go any further, as far as this tier list goes, I really do want to hear your feedback, but also as far as your play style goes, if you're not sure, make sure to go to the training grounds. Make sure to play the tutorials so that you understand the play style of the hero, because maybe, nah, I don't want to tank, but hey, the barrier's cool. Throwing the shield out there and get some AoE damage is cool. She does do some decent damage as well. So maybe it's something that you want to check out and take a look at. But make sure to play the training ground so you get a good idea for each one of these characters. Let's talk about Atal. Atal also fits in one of those dual roles, right? So she's mid-range. She's also support. I think she's interesting. When we talk about our purple heroes, our purple guardians here, she does some decent damage. I think she's good for early to mid-game. In the end game, I think she falls off quite a bit. She does some decent damage. She's got some. She has this blind here. These arc missiles that bounce between the enemies. She's got this super, which is kind of cool. She can fire bird-shaped arc projectiles at the combatants. She's got some healing here as well. Obviously, the healing is not as good as Tantu's. I've got her in the B tier right now. I have her in B tier for both mid-range as well as support. She's going to be a decent support for you if you don't have Tantu. But I think once you get Tan, you're going to probably invest more in Tan than you are in Atal. But there are missions that you need to complete using Atal. So like when you go, if you dedicate resources to Gwen, for her acclaim, you've got to go into 3 adventure missions with Atal. And it's not playing Atal. You have to be grouped with Atal. That limitation I'm really not a huge fan of. But she's got some decent damage. She's got some okay healing. But again, I think you're going to go back to Tan if you've got him. Kabr. Kabr is an interesting tank. He's got blind as well. I think, in my opinion, when we talk about Kabr, you've got Jolder, who is a tank, right? Fantastic tank. Kabr is a tank. Tank versus a tank. I think he's more of an off tank, to be honest with you. But he's got some blind. I see him used in PvP quite a bit. He's got this Thunder Shield, which is cool. Again, we've got some blind there as well. He's got a barrier that he throws up. I see that quite a bit in PvP as well. So I don't think you're really going to use him a lot. And if you get Jolder, you're going to switch to Jolder. Jolder, great for PvP. I think probably better for PvP than PvE. And I think I already hit on that with the other ones. Atal, not so much on PvP, I don't think. I think you're going to use her more on PvE than you are in PvP. But that's where we are with Kabr. Not really a whole lot to go into there. He's okay. I just don't think you're going to use him too much. I've got him in B tier. So let's talk about Finala. I don't have much experience with her. I'll be honest with you. I played around with her a little bit. She's got some interesting abilities. She has a taunt. She is not a tank. Oh, she is actually. Sorry. I got her confused with somebody else. She's a defense. She's close range. She got another tank here. She does have a taunt with here, but also I think a cool thing about her is she pulls combatants in, which I think is pretty cool as well. We've also got this ability here. She's got some recovery, I think, which is nice. And then a blazing barrier. Spawns a blazing barrier that follows Finala, reducing damage of any incoming projectiles. I think between the two, I've got her at a B tier because, again, you're going to do much better with Jolder. But I think, honestly, between these two, I prefer Finala than I do Kabr. But I have played around with both of them just a little bit. I've got her in the B tier for right now. Let's talk about Zwan Wei. So offense, close range combat. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go through our close range combat. We've got Gwen, we've got Ningfay, we got Jolder, we've got Finala, and then we got Zwan. When you talk about Gwen, Ningfay, Jolder, those are going to be your go-tos for your close combat. So I've got Zwan Wei. I've got him in the B tier as well. He's got this thing, this arc rope that pulls in combatants. I want to go Mortal Kombat on this, and I want to hear, get over here, you know? I mean, that would just be fun. This is kind of cool, too. He's got a knockback here, this Juggernaut's Dominion, and then we got this Fist of Warpath here. It throws a powerful punch to knockback. So he's got some good knockback. I don't think you're going to use him a whole lot, though. I do see him used every now and then, but when you talk about like kind of the upper echelons of the different types of characters and playstyles here, I just don't see him up there. I think Ikora is probably my biggest disappointment. I mean, and you know what? I'm not even going into the weapons really, but this one sticks out. You've got a grenade launcher and you've got a rocket launcher. She just feels very, very slow. She's void. She's offense. She's long range. I don't have a lot of fun with her at all. She shoots some Gemini satellites. Each tracks to the target. She's got a supernova here like every Void character does. She shoots a small star that pulls targets in, which, you know, I think that is cool as well. But I don't see her played a lot, and I just think she is a very slow character. I like characters, and if you enjoy that kind of play style, then that is absolutely fantastic. I've got her in C tier, because when you take a look at long-range characters, she's long-range, right? When you take a look at long-range characters, you have Tantu, you have Umeko. We haven't even talked about Umeko yet. You're probably going to go for those two. Those are the only 3 long-range characters that we have in this game. So let's talk about Umeko. Umeko is one of those characters, again, she has a dual role. She has support, she has long-range combat. When we take a look at what she has, she's got a scout rifle and a sniper rifle, just like Tan does. When we take a look at support characters, I think she's really good. Take a look at her abilities here, her relic abilities. I love this shuriken and the shadow curse. This is awesome because combatants take increased damage from the fire team. So she increases incoming damage from the fire team, which I think is great. Tan has something similar as well. When we take a look at support characters, we got another shuriken here. We've also got some healing here, but you put in some damage, you put in some resources here. When an ally comes into contact with the void healing array, then they gain shadow step as well until the aura expires. But I think she's a great character for a long range and a support character. I have her at an A. I have Tan at an A for long range and an S for support. I felt she was fairly equal across both of those, that long range and that support. She's got a little bit of healing. Tan has more. She's got some fire team increase of damage. Tan has that as well. You can go ahead. You can flip back and forth. You got full kits almost for Tan, for healing as well as for damage and additional support there as well. So when you look at your support characters of Tan, of Umeko, and Atal, Tan's going to be your number 1. Umeko, I feel, is going to be number 2. And then Atal, obviously, you're going to fall back on Atal if you don't have the other 2. Atal will do good, again, from early to mid-range, mid-game, but you're going to use Umeko much later on in the game. Atal tends to fall off quite a bit. So that is where I have everybody as far as a tier list goes. I will go ahead and throw a snapshot of this grid that I have up so you can go ahead and see it if I haven't already. But so yeah, so I think it's a pretty solid list to start with. I'm very curious on your thoughts. What do you think about where I have people placed? Also, tell me what you think about Ningfay. Again, I think he's Ningfay. Okay, I keep thinking I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but let me know what you think of him and where you think I should put him. I've got him at A. I'm teetering with S with this guy. I think he's really good. So very curious your thoughts. What do you think about the way that I approached the tier list? Is it helpful? Let me know. Did I get everything wrong? Did I get some stuff right? I love feedback. I love tier lists because it generates a lot of conversation. And I'd love to have that conversation with everybody. All right, all. That is what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.